Okay, let's start. So on my agenda, I have 1x, 17x status report. Then I have some discussion topics, like how people will update to 1.x. There are some concerns right now that Bertrand raised. Also, maybe Antoine wants to show something around the admin theme, or maybe he doesn't want yet. We can talk about orchardproject.net, some progress and the discussions which have been done on the forum. So the website. Am I missing anything? Any demo today?
Also, this guy's got mono working, didn't they?
We can talk about mono, right? Any demo today? Oh, there's a chat. So Antoine, not yet. Okay. Projection and RSS. Okay, we'll talk about that. What else? Nothing more. Let's start with that. So status report. I'm sharing my screen. Stop. So Benedict, I can see you, so you have to make some other sign.
Yeah, okay, I will. I can't see it yet.
Why nobody is sharing his camera today? Usually we can see Brett, Benedict.
Yeah, okay, I got your screen.
Cool save, Benjamin. Benedict. Still waiting for you. Oh, no, I can't hear you. Maybe you are muted. But now I see your message. Okay, so status. 2 branches work. This is 17x, so everything. So this is 1.x. This is 1.x. Okay, 6 days ago, that should be it. Okay, so this one is fixing a bug in. So I'm starting with 1.x first, and is it 1.x? Yes, with 1.x first, and then after I go back on 17x. So this one was a bug in body part record for the 1.x branch based on the shift. The idea is that the view model was accessing the record directly instead of the body part. So again, with the shift in mind, you should not access the records. You should just access the part, which will use the record if necessary. We'll find a lot of them like this, but this one was a huge bug. Then I processed like 62 pull requests, something like that. Which are waiting. So this one was to fix the comments, validation message, and this actually is on 17x because it's a bug fix. So I'll mix the branches. Then another pull request, which was fixing some previous pull requests that Jay already submitted for content permissions. It's mixing 2 different permissions. So you think you edit the edit role, the edit permission, and actually it's the publish permission, something like that. Then This one is related to the previous one. Then this one is about fixing the web config files for IntelliSense, which means that if you, and this is related to a discussion we'll have later, if you don't do that on your module won't have the IntelliSense, but it won't prevent your module from working, at least this change. Okay. Then some more changes from Eric for the config files, adding redirects, updating version numbers. This one, same thing, configuration files. What is this file.txt? Oh, code generation files, okay. Then same thing for the Azure file and another code generation change. Okay, then this change to prevent multiple messages to be sent to the owner. If you select the owner radio button when you want to send a message, the issue is that here it's sending the message and right after it's sending it again. So this was an issue, but fixed by Henry. Then Stanley decided to revive the click to be leisure package because Daniel removed it, but they discussed on the forum and they agreed that it should be back because some people will use Visual Studio to publish and some others won't use Visual Studio. They want to create a package and push it by themselves, so they need this file. So now it's there, back by popular demand. Okay. 17x again, adding tenant specific log information. I will say finally, after 1 year of people pushing to have that, I did some very little changes to the suggested suggested pull request. So this was from an original work of Brett and Jeff Holmstead did the pull request, and so the idea is that now if you have multiple tenants, the tenant name will be logged into the line which is written in the logs, and for the debug information, so what you have now is the, as before, date thread logger, but now you have that tenant name. Okay, this is in the debug, and in error file you have something that date thread logger tenant, but also the URL where the error happened. This is very important to have the URL, I think, because when something wrong happens, you want to know what the user was doing, where he was and which page, so it might guide you with the scenario to reproduce or to fix. So this is done in 17x, okay? So it will be merged to 1.x when we want. Then I included the orchard.list module. See, and it's not enabled by default still, but it's there, and I tried it and it worked fine. I was able to repro the same blog demo that Sipke showed. I couldn't find any bug, so it works fine. So orchard.list is back in Orchard. It's in 1.x. Okay, it's a new feature. It's a new old feature. This one is from me. What did I do? Oh yeah, in the list feature, so maybe you will correct me, Sipke, but when we display a list, the title and the metadata was hidden. So what we could just see is an horizontal rule, HR tag, and without the title of the list. So I fixed it. I'm just showing the title and the command metadata like it's done for blogs, up to the designers to remove it if they don't want to see the title of the list itself. I thought it made sense. I also removed some references we didn't need. Then removed an unnecessary file. I also integrated the name property on the blog part, which is just accessing the title, because it was there on 17x and maybe I removed it by mistake, and it will break all your templates if you are using this property in the part, so I put it back. This one is from Stanley, who made some very nice role commands to, for instance, create a new role or to assign a user to a role with the commands. I tried it, it works fine. I needed it, so done. I think, was it a pull request? No, it was not a pull request. It was a module you had online on GitHub, and I took it from there. But you are the committer, like magically. It's beautiful. You do things you don't even know. This, what else to say? In this module, there were also some features. What was that? Related to roles, import-export for roles, but this one had been done previously by another pull request, so I just took the commands from your module. Then updating the package files to not exclude the lists from the package files. Also, I did this, which is integrating the web API filters. Shard, it's like for the MVC filter, almost there is an interface to implement, which is iAPI filter provider that you have to implement on your iFilters, on your iAPI filter or web API filters or exception filters, and they will be automatically loaded. So the implementation detail is that on this class, it will register a specific filter called the Orchard API Action Filter Dispatcher. And this filter, when called, will resolve all the resolvable API filters and call them asynchronously. So this is the first bit of code using the async await pattern in Orchard from 4.5. Let me show you this one. So when it's called, execute action filter is async, it will resolve the current working context, look at all the API filter provider implementation, of type iAction filter, so all your API action filters, and then call them asynchronously. Blah 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 blah. This then removed a class I had done, a controller, to check if the filters were working, and they were, but I forgot not to include this. Then you see this nice little bridge from there to there with the same commit, so it's just because of Zipke is screwed up. Okay, and when you see that locally, don't push. Which is nice with DVCS, you can try locally, so okay, I see a loop here, maybe I should not push. So don't push, fix it, or ask for help before pushing. So he pushed the same commit 2 times with a big merge here, while he tried to pull some change. And this change, it's a bug, it's fixing a bug, you see, and it was on 1.x, it should have been on 1.7x. So I asked him gently to push it also on 1.7x, which he did, without screwing up this time. Okay, and because it was public, we could not fix it again. But it happens sometimes. People do.
It was sorry, but I was a victim of the tool. I chose to amend the commit, and it pushed it automatically.
Yeah, okay. Don't use these tools which push automatically. So look at that. It was beautifully straight. You see, I can follow it on this branch, and then boom, what happens? Careful when you drive the Tesla, Zipke. Adding a default value setter for this also. So this one is an extension on the InfoSet helper. The idea is that now you can optionally pass a default value, so that when you say using the InfoSet helper for the shift on 1.x, when you try to save and load a value, you can say if there is not yet any value, use this default value. I use it for this thing. In the site settings part, which is using the shift and only is not using any record. Before it was this.retrieve page size, okay, which is the syntax to save locally the page size property. an integer, and now it's changed with comma default page size, which is this constant. So when the site is first set up, when it tries to access the page size, there is not yet one, so it will use default page size by default and set it into the storage. And it was a bug, because if you were to set up a one.x website before this change, all the page size will be infinite, because it will be 0. So it couldn't take long to display a page.
By the way, isn't such default, the providing of such default values, also the point in the initializing event?
So it could have been done in the initializing event. Sometimes we do it, especially for records, but could have worked too. But I think this is easier, actually. No? It was just a default parameter, default value.
Yeah, it surely is. I just wonder.
Oh yes, I know, because I would have had to create a handler for that. So I was like, okay, because it's just a helper here. Sometimes you can't, for instance, for records, you can do that with a default value like this. But because we have InfoSet helper here now, it's easier to provide a default value, because we know when it's new or not new. And because there was no handler, I was like, okay, let's do that. But you can do the initialize event in the handler otherwise. Sure, that's what we do usually.
Okay, cool.
Because I can do whatever I want. If I want. This one, Sipke, you can complain, because I'm fixing a bug which was not raised, but that could happen also on 17x, which is that if from a background task you try to access the current time zone, then somehow it's using the HTTP context which is passed to the get time zone, but in the background task there is not such context, so don't choose that here. Just say get context, and it will resolve it if it's available. So yeah, it will break background tasks. I optimize this piece of code because I tried to import an XML file of 6 megabytes, and it was taking way too long. Like I could not see the end, and the more items the more items I was importing, the longer it was taking. So I profiled it, and 90% of the time was spent in this content identity a comparer to compare identities, and I refactored the code to just do the comparison by myself instead of using link and sequence equal, and there was no more any issue with the performance, and I could import this 6 megabyte file in 5 minutes. So it was okay. So I pushed it. So it should improve your import times if you have huge files, because it worked for me, and it's not specific to what I imported to any content item. Also, yeah, no, that's okay. And then some fixes from Daniel. Typo, Azure dependencies. This fix I will ignore because he unfixed it, because it was not a good fix. Then he also included a remove attributes timeout in the web release config transform file, which is removing something we have by default in the web config, which is there. Where is this? Here. Transaction timeout 30 minutes, I assume. This is a debug file, so in the release file is just removing this thing for Azure and for the standard web. Then apparently moved the Orchard SSL module into the correct folder. Then okay, we don't care. I reformatted this file, I reverted the changes, and the fix from Sipke, well, actually from Jean-Thierry Kechichian, who was submitted by Sipke also on 17x, because it's a bug fix. And we said bug fixes go in 17x in case we need to publish a 172 quickly. and get all the bug fixes done. Okay, any questions, comments, complaints? What did I miss? Lol, blah blah blah. 17. Oh, I said 172. Yes, we already did the 172, 173. Sipke was committing so fast that one of his commits has overtaken the other. Maybe. This is the module. Bug. Okay, I missed nothing. Okay, good. So next on my agenda, so 1x, 17x, 1.x update. So Bertrand, can you explain the issue you saw, which was breaking the modules? What change you had to do?
Yeah. So I took the latest.
Can you turn your microphone up, please?
Oh, what?
Turn your microphone up a little bit.
There is no volume button on the microphone.
No. So I took the latest changes yesterday, and what I got was a site without any static resources being loaded. I got 500 errors on all of them with empty responses and not in the logs, which is usually a good sign that the static handler is not wired up, which was exactly what was happening. And I had to go to all of my web configs in all the folders that were serving static files and update them to take the latest that is those works. So yeah, I had to do that on all my custom modules, themes, the media folder. So it's time consuming, and if
okay.
all module authors and all theme authors have to do that before they become compatible with 1.8, I think we have a problem. Because nothing's going to work out of the box. So can you stop talking? Yeah, that's it. So I want to discuss what we want to do about that, and potentially other problems that might affect the upgrade to 1.8, in particular concerning modules. And you know, we have this long overdue overhaul of the gallery. We should probably take that opportunity to talk about that as well, and consider the possibility of resetting the gallery, making it finally version sensitive, you know, restart from scratch, asking module developers to re-upload their modules as they become not certified but proven to work on 1.8. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the file before and after. So this is on my right, I have 17x, and here I have 1.x. Okay, this is a web config file in the styles jQuery, so typical. This is the same file. The difference here is that, so this is the same, but the difference is this is no more here, and this is okay. System web is removed, but system web is just for IIS6.
And Cassini.
So
Cassini also used that.
Cassini?
I didn't have time to exactly investigate what was going on. I'm running on IIS, by the way. But
okay.
I didn't have time to dig exactly into what was going on. All I had time to do, you know, I needed a solution right away. So I took a web config that worked, and the changes that I saw had to do with static and.
Okay, if you can send me the change you did, and I will check, because here there is no change to do. I don't see any change to do here. Maybe I should check, by the way, on a module on the gallery just to see. Otherwise, talks about the gallery. If 1.8 doesn't break anything, there won't be any need to change the gallery. But but it doesn't mean that we don't want to change the gallery. We said we would do that, but it will just be a priority if current modules are broken. But at some point, yes, with the new gallery, we'll reset every module and say publish again, and ensure that it works on every version. Well, ensure that we can say if a module works on a specific version or not, so that people won't see modules which don't work on their version. Which usually leads to people not happy with all the time. So this is what you did fix also to remove this. Okay. So actually the fix is to remove the stuff that is no more needed. Okay. So this is a current difference. So which means that if we, okay, that's weird. Maybe Eric's not here. So yeah, so the difference is that this full section is removed, and if it's still there, it will break the app. That's weird. This is weird.
I know that web page is enabled thing has caused. I've been seeing stuff on Twitter about that causing issues with something, but I never got read into it.
Yeah, that's the bug I think Bertrand was describing to me. A yellow screen rated to Razor or something like that. Okay, I look into that. Okay. This is weird. So maybe it's just the app settings then which is causing an issue. Is there a way to fix that automatically? I don't know. There must be a way, but I'm not sure we want to. I will see what we can do for that. If there might be a setting, a global setting somewhere we can put, or yep. Okay, open issue. Okay, open issue.
Yeah, Sebastian. What we've done is comment that line out, and it works.
For every module?
Yeah, for every single one.
Because you're one.x or?
No, because underneath the static file handler at the bottom of the file, that one ends up being used by IS8.
Okay, I'll try that.
Yeah, if you comment that one out, it seems to work.
Well,
that one seems to only be looked at for IS6, but it interferes with IS8.
Okay, first I need to repro it. So yeah, so technically if I just add it, I will just try to add it, for instance, to one of my modules just to see what happens when I add it. And we'll see. Okay. Is there a bug open for that? On our size, we comment out the IS batch. So Antoine, I know you like it. Can you please open a bug for that? Copy paste this code and thank you. Okay, I look into that, and maybe this will have us refresh the gallery because of that. We'll see. I'd like not to have to do the gallery because of that. It will postpone 1.8, but if we have to. This is Antoine playing orchardproject.net. So there's been a discussion on the forum here about the no, not this one here, about the mockup that Chris and his team have been working on. So this is the file, just opening it just for anyone to see. It's a PDF file, so it's just like a statement of work and what are the goals and what should look like and so on, just to be able to talk about it. So you can read the file targeting developers, IT directors, and designers. So the idea would be to have separate sections on the website for different audiences. The messaging, ideas for the design, so flat design, responsive, bootstrap, Microsofty. This is an idea of what it could look like. Oh, that's ugly when I zoom. So the headline of the website, logos, pictures, showcase, like from Shortshard, features, and community. So based on that, some people talked on the forum. I don't know if you read the discussion. Bertrand first. His point, yes, so he's pointing that it's using the old message that we had on the previous website. Maybe somewhere it's still appearing, but the new message is, because the old message was complex to understand. The new one is, Orchard is a free open source community focused content management system built on the ASP.NET MVC platform. The previous message was, it's a framework for you to build any kind of application. It's not a CMS. Now the message, it's a CMS. Doesn't mean that you can build your own application, but primarily we ship it as a CMS. And it's a free open source community focused content management system. So this is the first feedback he gave. Access to the downloads should be easier. Menu choice is weird. So everything is just, so the document was here to talk, to open the discussion, and it's just open discussion. Showcase should be pulled from shortchart.com. I think we all agreed on that. Instead of having to manage a different of items, it should be pulled from shortchart.com, but I also have my reserve on this one after. There are some logos that we need to place on the website because some companies help us, contribute for us, so we need to provide our logo. For instance, AutoCurve, the owner of the project, TeamCity, because we have our CI on CodeBetter TeamCity, Pluralsight, because they provide free courses on Orchard in exchange for a Pluralsight logo on our website. So things that we need to place somewhere. Zoltan then said some things, but we don't care. Then I'm joking. So what did he say? A few of our friends who use Orchard. Yeah, just okay. Community blog post. Yes, so also Bertrand emphasized that today we have lots of blog posts and community content that we publish on the front page, so we need a place where we can put these things. Maybe, so I was suggesting maybe the last 3 or 4 items and a link to the page with all the items, but at least reflect it on the homepage. And also, yeah, he doesn't like the photography, and it's too cliche. What did I say? Feature section, yeah, we might advertise on the features we provide that others don't provide, like the media manager, the workflow designer, all the stuff that we do, which is nice. Again, like Tan and Bertrand said, there was no link for the documentation, and I think it's a must-have. We all think that. Showcase could be taken from shortchart.com, but what I also wanted to say was that if we don't handle that from the shortchart.com, we could specifically say which ones we want, because even if there are new websites that are on shortchart.com, we might just want to keep the old ones, which are much better. But yes, there must be some synergy with shortchart.com. Then Richard Rachowski said that he wants easier access to documentation tutorials, because that's what he uses the website for primarily. Christian also said that I think he doesn't get the developers, IT directors, and designer thing. He says it should be accessible to anyone, so don't segregate the audiences. Specifically targeting, saying, hey, you are a developer, hey, you are a designer, might be interesting because, oh, you talk to me or you talk to me. That I like it. I don't really understand the IT director thing. I understand, but I'm not sure that there's a point into doing that here. Sorry. And what else? He says everybody is a developer and designer. I agree, but the message might be different. So he's also giving his ideas on what to change. So if you have ideas, just share it. Chris, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I can go down, because yesterday we met and talked about all of this feedback, so I have some responses here.
Good.
Let's see. We do agree that new messaging is better. It's more concise. We'll probably put that in. We're going to reduce the size of the text right there. It's kind of overpoweringly huge. So, access to the downloads. This is actually, there is a menu item link all the way to the right that says Get Started. And it doesn't really pop out because this is in black and white. And the design, that it would be much more obvious. But we can change that to downloads. But it would essentially have all the information on all the different ways to get Orchard and where you can download it, or how to check out source. Or I think we already have a page like that right now, so it would be essentially that page. Let's see.
So this is the big front page here that I have open, and there is no link, for instance, to very important things like people coming back on the website. I don't know if it's important, but like you said, a get started, maybe I would imagine a big download button, or get started might not be obvious to say, oh, what is it about? Get started. Will I get some documentation? Like, okay, get it, play with it, or I don't know.
Yeah, we feel the same way.
It's like this thing is quite empty. There is no Yeah.
Let's see.
Well,
Showcase could be pulled from Show Orchard. We could do that. I think it might be easier to either just integrate Show Orchard directly into this site, or have like a tightly curated section that's just on this site.
What can be done for this? Because Show Orchard is there and it works. It needs some love, but it's there.
I think the point that I was trying to make then was that we are starting to have an ecosystem of partners, and we really want to put them forward on the site, I think. So even if we make our own selection of the websites that appear there, it would be great, to specify that this is content from Show Orchard. Making sure that the partners get the love.
Yeah, and we can still create a custom tag on showorchard.com.
Yeah, that
just
would be
download
one solution too.
And we can also add a custom API endpoint to get this content. Or we could create a projection on their site. We just have to include actually into our site. You see? So I think that could be done like that with a custom tag, and because we have the source code of that, I am hosting it. So I think integrating with Show Orchard would be good, and would also let us, for instance, if someone creates another site with other data, we could also integrate with that too.
That sounds good. Pluralsight, Outer Curve, Team City ads. We looked at those, and I think our question was, can we redo those to be more in-line stylistically? Because like that Team City ad is one of the most horrible looking ads I've ever seen. So if we could do that to still like be in line with the new style, then there's no problem.
Well, we can ask. I'm sure they would.
Yeah, we'd probably have to ask them directly.
Maybe we're not using also their up-to-date ones, because I just found this morning some new ones from Got Better. So yeah, we can ask. Let's ask all of them if they have updated ones, and then what you will suggest instead.
All right, list of posts currently on the homepage. So we have this whole developer community section, and a lot of the links that exist currently on the front page and on the menu are going to end up in there. So the landing page to the developer community would have the community posts and articles.
Developer community, so the link which is here.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole section with the nav.
But instead of this link, there is no callback from. There is no content from this section on the homepage. You mean?
Not at the moment. We might be able to find a way to like pull the top post, or have.
Yeah, I was suggesting, because I agree this has its own section, but I also agree that it's good to have some dynamic content on the homepage to show people that, oh, there is something going on. So people who just go on the homepage will see that, and will see the new articles, and maybe not all of them, but just the top last three, and you see that, you can follow it and link then to the main category. Like a section like we did for features, for showcase. I don't think we care if there are lots of sections. There can be lots of sections actually. So there could be like another community, news or community or things like that section with the latest articles on that.
Do we want to continue to have the weekly meetings on that stream, or do we want to have the latest?
So I will repeat it, because nobody heard that. Do we want to continue to have community meetings, or I didn't get what you said after, too low. So
do we want to continue to have the meeting videos in the news feed, or do we want to
have a separate feed? Is that what you mean?
So,
yeah.
With the latest one on it.
Yeah, that's yeah.
We discussed that too yesterday. We thought it might be good on that the new section to actually have the top section be whatever the last meeting video was, and then all the other posts under it.
I agree. Just one section, one square for the meeting, the latest one, and somewhere else the latest community contributions. So we always have just one video, the last one, the latest one. Yeah, I would not disagree with that. Will someone disagree with that? Read. What are the people saying? Smoking. You're smoking? Okay, nobody has any interesting thing to say. So they don't disagree either. So yes, I agree with your conclusion too.
Stock photography, I agree. It does look bland, but it's also a mock-up, and
they look nice. They look nice. Oh, you know what we need? We need a video with a very trendy designer in a suit and his iPad mini walking in a fancy street and editing his website on his iPad. We need that. I know some tools.
That's how everybody works nowadays.
Yes, that's so beautiful. I want to use this tool. If a very fancy young guy uses his iPad to edit his website, I want to do that too. A white iPad, please.
So I do like the idea of having if we have any good pictures from any of the orchard harvests, that would be a pretty good idea too.
Oh, we'll definitely need some links on the YouTube website with the videos. Maybe we want to also recall that, like with a square somewhere, pointer, I don't know. We have very good pictures from the harvest. Just ask Brett. He just has to click on one button of his camera and the picture is wonderful. Because his camera costs more than his Tesla. But we have very nice pictures. Where are they? I don't know. Is there someone who... Brett, where are your pictures? Are they public? He's not even listening to us. So
public Google Drive folder.
It's all on a share on Gmail, on Google Drive.
Okay.
All the pictures.
If you find it, Nick, can you send a link to Chris or to me? I will.
There you go. Benedict's
okay.
Benedict,
Get
not
that.
Antoine. Antoine, you're disappointing. Usually you have the answers before the questions.
Or if someone shares it with Chris, maybe.
This link is fucked up. And
Okay, I can get to it.
there it is. There it is. Your folder. There it is. I can't copy paste this thing.
All right, well, I'll hand that over to the designers too. They'll be able to find something cool in there. Okay. Missing
Well,
document.
next time, take the pictures by yourself.
We just have to plan. But
Yeah.
we're going to do this site in a year and a half, and we should have photography.
Good.
What would be a few of our friends who use Orchard? That we think that's like bad wording, but we want to have some just like logos or maybe some companies that have websites that are on Orchard. That's all that is.
Is this different at Showcase?
To scroll up, it's right under the header, I think. Where it says the boxes with logo. So we would just have.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see.
But we need to find out what those could be. We don't know yet. At least I personally don't know.
And yeah, and usually they don't want that because there is nothing in the law. Yeah, I don't know. We can link to any website. Nothing in the law prevents us from that. But using the logo, I'm not sure we can. When I was in France, we were always asking for permission to do that. And when you ask for permission, they deny because they say, oh, if they ask for permission, there must be some reasons not to do that, so they don't want to. And for instance, one of your customers, Chris, sent me an email to remove a link to their website. I did that because, okay, you asked it very nicely, so I removed it, but legally, I don't have to remove any link to anywhere. So yeah, just to mentioning.
That's fair enough. We can get rid of that section.
I don't. Yeah, maybe that would be a lot of pain to get some logos here. We can showcase here. They won't have to say anything, even without their permission. We just show the website and a link to this. There's nothing. Even if they don't agree with that, we can still do it. We don't have to ask for permission for that. So that's easier, I think. And this is self-explanatory. If you see the AMC Theater website here, oh, this is AMC Theater. If you see, I don't know, Toyota here, this is Toyota. Okay, so.
Okay. Documentation, that's all going to be in the developer side, so if anybody's wondering where any of that went, that's all going to be very prominent in that section. But not on the front page.
There will be talks about that.
Yeah, some people might disagree. Let's see. The intended audience, yeah, we don't really know what to call IT director. It is kind of like the pointy-haired boss. We're trying to find people, who are actually negotiating, and from our perspective, when we're negotiating like a proposal and we send them over to the site, what are they going to think? And this is not somebody who's a developer or a designer. This is somebody who's just managing budget, for instance. Mm-hmm. So we don't know what to call that, but this isn't really like a hard segmentation.
Or is this? Oh, here. 4. So this would be like tabs. I click and I see the points for.
Yeah, those are just tabs, and then the content under there just changes. So this is the only segmentation on the site. It's just that little section.
+1 disagree. What do you disagree about? It's your boss. Documentation hidden. He disagrees. Yeah, that will be a lot of people disagreeing that there is no link direct link to documentation. get started. Could link then after to yeah. We'll see later. Okay. Okay, IT directors. In French, I know the word, but I don't. Bertrand, you have an ID? In French, we'll say décideur, but in English, I don't know.
I think it's project manager.
That might be good.
Yeah. I can't say I'm French. But Benedict, decision maker. Ilan. Yeah. Rich guy with the money. Let's do that. Rich dude with the money. Okay. Entrepreneur. That's not that. Different. Okay. Yes. So here we will list all the points for why we would choose that. Like for IT directors, oh, it's free, and free support, free deployment, free tools, and free whatever. Yeah. And your customers will be happy. Okay.
And I think, okay, so the designers happen right now to be in a client lunch meeting, but they will be here next week for this meeting.
Good. The designers.
Yeah, and we will have, hopefully before then we will, yeah, there's more than one. I mean, it's a collaborative thing. But, we're going to probably be working on the developer section next, because that's kind of where a lot of the reorganization is happening, so that might be tricky. But that will be, I don't know if that'll be up before next Tuesday, but we do hope to have like a initial kind of sitemap uploaded before then. And I think that's it.
Okay. Good. So next week this will be updated and be focusing on different matters then. Committees are there. Yeah, so much content, but there will be sections. We can't put everything on the front page because this is an issue today. Yeah, lack of organization in the content and too many things. Okay, thank you, Chris. Zoltan, anything to add?
Nothing from me at the moment.
Code. Now your job is code. Code that. And we'll have also to apply the design on the developer. On the documentation side, because the documentation is a different site which has the exact same layout and design. Do you intend to have a carousel on the first page? I know there are lots of opponents to carousels. What do you think, Chris? Carousel on the home page? No carousel. Necessary. Okay. Next topic. Mono. It works. I haven't tried it. Oh yes, we can try it. It's somewhere. I don't know. I can't. Oh. You have 3 seconds, Antoine, to give me the link to the Mono website. 1, 2. Who will give me the Mono? Oh, no. Yes. Thank you, Zoltan. You lost by 1 second, Antoine. Stop. I need to select this link. Doesn't work. I can't even select the link. How to?
Link fails like copy and paste. I don't understand why.
Oh, it's updated. There's a theme now. Yesterday there was no theme. Now there's a theme. Interesting. He's working on that. Whoever you are. Ted Leslie, you said, Bertrand? Can't. Oh, nobody here. Sad. So this is Orchard. This is beautiful. You see this nice design and everything. Must have been done by Web Advanced, and and it works. It's not that slow actually. It's even fast. So so for instance, just I don't know where it's hosted, but talking about performance, you see to get one page, 150 milliseconds. If I go on PhilHack's website, for instance, which is a static website, it's slower. It will be slower. Oh, it's a little bit faster. Oh no, it's cached locally. Okay, sorry. Control F5. Let me see. You see, it's very slower than Orchard on Mono. And it's dynamic. It's not static page. Interesting. So it works. Very nice accomplishment. We'll find some time to review the changes that were made in Orchard itself to see what we can include by default, and or if we need some pre-processing conditions to handle that. I don't know. Or we can revive the Mono branch also. For instance, there are two issues with Mono so far. This hosting environment. So this is in Mono, we can't do anything. But here in Orchard, if I won't download the patch, but lots of places have changed. Download patches, content item alteration, for instance, if Linux, blah blah blah. Oh, dynamic stuff. Okay. Oh, slashes everywhere. Yeah, I'll check that. Interesting. But Mono works. Running, yeah, that's possible too. Then projection and RSS. So Stanley submitted. When Stanley submits a patch, I don't know how much work Benjamin did on this patch. Okay, I will assume Stanley did that. Projection and RSS. The idea is that when you have a website and it uses projections, like this website, when a projection is rendered, even in a widget, maybe this page is a projection. If you go to the source code, there will be some link to the RSS. You see here RSS projection, and the RSS contains link to the content that is displayed. If the content doesn't have any auto route, because it's not supposed to be linked directly, it's just, you see like this one, it will render the contents item display controller. And then Google is able to find those links and to link to those content items directly because they are public, but the URL is ugly and you don't expect Google to point directly to those pages, but instead maybe to home page. So this is an issue, and so the solution is to not render this RSS feed. Just, I mean, not to disable the RSS feed totally, but to not render the link or this handler, okay, the projection handler, or whatever you don't want to use as a RSS. So Stanley made a contribution to disable the rendering of a projection per projection. I don't know if you updated your project. So there are different ways to do that. What it is just a new checkbox on the projection. So this is a solution, just to say don't render or render the RSS feed on the page. I was suggesting another one, which was to use the placement. Like projection will be actually the RSS link will be actually a shape that is rendered by the driver, but you will decide to inject it somewhere or to not display it, for instance. And this is more hardy, but it's not very easy to change. So another solution might be to have the link rendered inside a view. So if the links were rendered inside the views, you could just by changing the view, not render the link. That would be another solution. But Stanley's solution is the easiest one, which is just to add a checkbox to render or not render the link. That will work too. What do you think? Okay, you don't. So Stanley, you don't ask.
I'm sorry, you're asking me.
No. I'm asking not you. I know what you want. You want the checkbox. I'm asking the people. Maybe Stanley's solution is the simplest and the best. You don't disagree with the issue, guys, because I've seen that reported multiple times. Like if I go on a website named just what's it? I think there is the same issue here. Projection, you see here, and it's same thing, same issue, same SEO issue. So this is everywhere you have a projection, you will have the issue somehow when you work on your SEO. And it could be a checkbox in the content associated to the content item. There is nothing breaking, it's just a new checkbox, a new parameter. This could also be done for other stuff which have their RSS feeds. I don't know what modules provide that today. I have to check that, but for instance, on the blog, I think Bertrand has a module for FeedBurner. I don't know if he made that or someone else to override RSS URL maybe. How do we fix the issue rather than enabling you to hide it? Well, it's not rendering the RSS link, so Google cannot find it. And we could also not render the RSS at all. You want the RSS, so don't disable the RSS.
No, I don't think all projections should be RSS. I think there are some projections that you want to be RSS, but not every projection should be
When you say,
RSS.
I just want it to be correct, what should be correct? The link can't be correct. Well, maybe there is another bug. Right now, if you don't have any auto route, it will render the content/item/display link, because this is the only link to access the content. What is incorrect?
So how is that an SEO problem? Because you have that projection on that page. So
yes.
Whether it's rendered through RSS or on the screen, what difference does it make?
The difference is that if you have a projection on that page, you might not have any link to the content item.
Yeah, but okay.
Look at you. Look at your stuff. This thing, for instance. So
they are external posts. Yeah.
See? So this is a content item.
So what I would want here is to be able to fix that link and have it point to the right thing, which is an external URL. So this is a problem with the RSS feed that's being generated. It's not a problem with
Yeah, but if you don't have any link.
So that proceeds from the same thing. You have a projection, and you have an RSS for that projection.
Okay.
And
yeah,
in that case, the RSS has the wrong link.
Whether
there is no link or it's the wrong URL.
Okay. So if it was an RSS item, there should be a valid link. Here it's an external post, so it should be the link to the external post.
But isn't that a separate problem? Like, I don't understand why I'm required to expose an RSS if I just want to use a projection.
I agree. I agree that there are legitimate
issues
to hide the RSS, but this is not one of them. Here, the problem is that RSS feed needs to be fixed, so it needs to be customizable in the projection. You're right. Those are two different problems.
Yep. Two different problems. So we need to open so your issue is still there, Stanley, but we need to find another bug. I think maybe it's already filed. How to set correct links to the RSS items. We need to be able to override the behavior. Because here, in the case of an external post, what we want in the RSS, if the external post is in the RSS is the link to the external post, and not the link to the content item representing the external post.
I think if auto route is specified, then you will get a link using auto route.
Yes. Okay, so what you mean? No, but we can do that because auto route will be a local link. So you need more context. An external post is a specific content item that Bertrand likes to use. So he creates a content type named external post, and this content type has what? Has a title, a URL field, and a body. And when he renders that using projection, he says, so if you go on the Orchard website, for instance, here, this is an external post. The title, the link points, you see, to something externally. But this external post is a local content item. It doesn't have any auto route because it's not when you click here, we don't go on the content item itself. We go to another page externally. But it's still in the RSS, but the RSS shows the content item itself. So we don't want to link to it. There is no auto route. The auto route is local stuff.
I understand.
So what we need is in the RSS, if it's in the RSS, if we enable the RSS, this link here should be used. So somehow we need to be able to tell the RSS what is the link for external post. So there must be an orchardy way to do that, like a setting on there's a part. I'm sure it must be a part. I have that in mind. Okay, we need to create a part which will be external RSS information, for instance, that we attach to external post, and when we can put a token to it, so that when the RSS link is created, if it finds this part, it will use the information based on this part instead of the one it has by default.
Well, RSS in those cases is a little inflexible. The RSS infrastructure is very flexible in Orchard if you are writing a module, but I mean, it looks like the RSS itself should be a projection over the same query, but it should be a projection itself where you can specify, okay, the title is composed from those tokens, for example, etc. So, giving the flexibility of projections to that RSS string that is associated.
Yeah, that's more complex.
I know it is, but that would be the Orchardy way. Because you would have complete flexibility over what to do.
I would rather fix this by creating the part right now because it's very easy, and then think about how to create RSS projections. And RSS or anything, it's just using a custom layout. You just execute the operation and you have a custom layout. It has a route.
But you would have a way to associate that projection.
A projection, or maybe more than that, like a widget on which pages do you want to include which link to RSS. Because that's not just for projections, that's for anything. So, like on my home page, which is not a projection, I could like an RSS link to some of the blog post. And the RSS is just the RSS link is just the projection which is rendered as a link, and when you point to it, it's just the rendering of the projection itself as RSS content. So that's an orthogonal module, I think. Okay, but okay. I will have to take notes for all of this, and we have a perfect solution. So 3 things: being able to render the current RSS link, being able to customize the RSS content, and provide a nice RSS infrastructure. Well, I mean, be able to provide whatever custom RSS content you want. Enable, disable part for customizing, RSS as projections. Yep, and when we have RSS as projections, we can deprecate the default RSS feed, which is rendered in projections, and also blogs and everything. Yep. Okay. overflowing already. What time is it? Subjects. So we talk about everything. A few websites. I have more, and there's a lot here. Oh yeah, it really doesn't want to. JS Fiddle up to the rescue. HTML here. Run. Ah! I just want links. Oh, I know. Visual Studio. Blog. Nothing fancy. So web browsing in Visual Studio is very slow. Forex, so market information. Let me just select a few of them. You've got the links, they will be on the post. Which ones are interesting? Cranberry. Nice little one. Android stuff. Well, it's custom development, so they do whatever. Yeah, a few of them. This one, just to check if it's really an Orchard website, because it's a .au. Yes, it is. No. Oh, yes, it is. It's interesting. It's a platform, and they are using some nice modules like Combinator. It's a website to find car rentals. Interesting. Using Orchard. Yep. Okay. Any other topic for today? No one? We don't have time for triage today. This is sad. Just because Benedict didn't share his video. So next week we'll do more triage. I do some Patch Tuesday. Yes. Oh, by the way, there were some ASP.NET security advisories today. So you need to patch your websites. You need to have enable view state Mac, maybe like this, equals whatever is the default and not what you wanted to put. Okay. Please check that. I don't want to say anything bad. Enables view state Mac. Must be true. Why? Ah. I don't think about it. Okay, just take that. It has been disclosed this morning. You need to update that if you use web forms. Okay, that's it. Okay, if no one has any question, we'll close the meeting and talk next week. See you guys.
Bye everyone.
Smile, be happy.
Have a good night.